welcome to Intuitive Moon Tarot. This is Jen. I'm back today with another pick a card reading for you. This pick a card reading is going to be what is blocking our connection or stopping it from reaching its fullest potential. We do have two decks for you to select from today. We have deck A or deck B. And you do want to go where you are most intuitively drawn. It's very helpful if you can close your eyes, take a couple deep breaths, and ask of the universe, please provide me with some insight and guidance into what is blocking our connection. Okay, for those of you that need more time, please pause the video here and take all the time that you need. For the rest of you, I am going to get started with deck A. Okay, for those of you that felt drawn to deck A, this is just a quick reminder that these are general readings. There's no way for me to guarantee that every general reading will resonate with every person that watches these every time. Please just take what feels good to you in your soul, what is helpful and what resonates with your story, and leave the rest for someone else. If this just is making absolutely no sense to you, then this probably isn't a message that was meant for you or your time to receive a message. I do feel, however, that everything is fated and there are no coincidences. So if you felt drawn to me or my channel in one way or another, chances are I will have a meaningful message for you at some point in time. So if you feel inspired to do so, I always recommend subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell notification. That way you will be notified anytime new uploads appear, and if you feel inspired or really drawn to one of those uploads, I always recommend that you watch that. With all that being said, let's get started. So we have the Page of Wands here, and we have that paired with the Seven of Wands. So this is heavy fire energy here. You may be dealing with a fire sign or someone that has fire in their chart, or you may be a fire sign or have fire in your chart. Certainly doesn't have to be. This could just be a lot of passion or a highly passionate relationship. We have lust, so just as I got done saying that. And then we also have surrender worry. So give me just a minute here to look over this and see what I'm feeling and what messages I'm receiving. You know, I'm seeing that you may be dealing with someone, and of course this could be you as well, so the energies can go either way. So you just want to take what resonates with you. So the person that you're dealing with, what I'm feeling is they may possibly be slightly guarded and defensive. They may have a difficult time communicating or expressing their emotions verbally to you. They may kind of come across as just, when we talk about the Page of Wands, this could be somebody who's younger than you, or you could be younger than them. It doesn't have to be. It may just be an energy of somebody that's a little bit less emotionally mature, whether that's them or you. But I am seeing somebody here that's a little bit free-spirited. When we talk about the Page of Wands, we talk about inspiration, ideas, we talk about limitless potential and just a free-spirited type of energy. So this person may be defensive if they feel like you're kind of trying to push them in any way or to control them in any way. They may be somebody that expresses their emotions through intimacy. So you may feel the most connected with them when you're intimate, but then on other times you kind of feel like there's just a part of them that you can't reach, or they feel disconnected from you. They may be somebody that worries quite a bit and has their own personal anxieties, possible things that you don't know about. I do feel like this person by nature is probably going to be someone that's a little bit more free-spirited, or you're that way and they're seeing that about you, and that can make somebody feel worried or nervous, like if you're so independent and free-spirited and passionate and, I only feel connected to you through intimacy, then is this a real connection? Is this a real soulful connection? But I don't see that it's not. And I see that here when we're saying surrender worry. I don't see that this person doesn't care about you or doesn't. I definitely see that they have a lot of passion for you, but they may just have kind of a lustful energy, I just think that they're really guarded. Or you are. Somebody in this connection is very, very guarded. They feel defensive for some reason, and I feel like they want to protect their own free spirit. I feel like commitment kind of makes them uncomfortable. Even if they have committed to you, even if you're already in a committed relationship, I feel like they struggle with expressing themselves through communication, possibly from some things that may have happened in their past. They may have their own internal conflicts that they're kind of dealing with, their own personal insecurities, their own personal past hurts. There could even possibly be addictions involved here. It certainly does not have to be. That's not going to be for everybody. But where you see this dragon here twice, it's like I see that there's something they're trying to protect. And so whether it's just they're trying to protect their heart from any future damage because of things that have happened to them in the past, and they're just afraid to be emotionally vulnerable, and so they just treat this more of like a lustful connection or a connection where you're only truly feeling close to them through intimacy, as opposed, and I'm talking like physical intimacy. I know there's lots of different versions of intimacy, but when I see this card here, I do see that. I see that you kind of have a hold on this person, whether you're together or not. They certainly have passion for you, but at the end of the day, I just think they're a little bit free-spirited, and I feel like there's some part of themselves that they're just heavily trying to protect. Possible internal conflicts that they deal with that they don't feel they can trust anybody with. Maybe just some internal demons or things that they struggle with, and so they kind of keep themselves at a safe distance, always ready to, defend themselves, always ready for a battle. And it's really hard to have an intimate connection with somebody that feels defensive towards you. You're supposed to be a team, right? And so, let me see if I'm getting anything different here. They may have been in their past. I feel like there's a possibility this person kind of has been through some things in their past, and they've kind of isolated themselves and had to defend themselves because of that. And so they've just kind of, I feel like some not everybody will have this story, but somebody here, for some of you, had a really difficult situation in the past, and so they just kind of learned how to be alone and how to be free-spirited and how to always kind of just be kind of a dreamer. It's like a daydreamer, someone who just daydreams about the future and just kind of gets lost in their own world. Sometimes you see the Page of Wands is kind of like not necessarily a loner, but somebody that they're just kind of hard to tie down. So that's what I'm seeing here. And really, let's see if we can I'll pull a bonus card. I usually don't do this in these pick a cards, but I'm going to pull my Love Oracle out, and I'm just going to ask for a last piece of advice here to help with this connection. Also, some of this, if I'm going to be 100% honest, for the rest of you, is going to be that this is a lustful connection and it is lacking in long-term, like the emotions for a long-term connection may not necessarily be there. This person, for a select few of you, this person may feel really threatened by having their freedom taken away, their freedom to kind of roam as they please. They may have kind of a player energy, or have found themselves in a lot of lustful connections, and they're just kind of substituting that for real, true love and connection. And when anybody gets too close, they immediately feel like their freedom is being threatened, and they feel defensive about that and guarded, and they just kind of back away and turn into their own little recluse. So maybe possibly somebody with commitment issues that worries a lot that if they really connect to somebody on that level, like they're worried about the depths and the possibility of that connection. And so they just keep it strictly passionate and more physical. Getting a few different storylines here because this is general. I'm going to pick up a lot of different energy and a lot of different options, but that is something to consider for some of you. So if that sounds more like it makes sense for you, that may be your message. Please, Tarot, please, Universe, what advice do you have for this connection to remove blockages? Focus out and look at that dragon again. I'm telling you, there's something here. There's some kind of a blockage. Focus on love. Look for the good attributes in each and every person in your life. So maybe it's just, okay, I just got this message out of nowhere. I'm getting something here about the love languages, right? That maybe the way that this person expresses love isn't necessarily the way that you receive love. This person may be more of a physical touch or an intimacy type of a person. Sorry, I'm looking here. Breathe them out of your body. Focus on the power of your heart. Yeah, this person's love language may possibly be different than yours, and just their personality in general. This can be a person that expresses themselves, again, through intimacy or physical touch or things of that nature. Like that's just their way of connecting and where they feel more safe to be vulnerable in a sense. And that may be hard for you to accept, but this is a reminder to focus on love and look for the good attributes. So instead of criticizing what they don't do, or that maybe they're not showing love the way that you receive love, maybe you're somebody that, is really big on quality time and they're really big on showing acts of service or whatever it is. I struggled with this for a really long time with someone that was important to me in my life because our love languages were so opposite, and I constantly felt unloved. It's like two people speaking two different languages trying to have a deep conversation. So I feel like if you can kind of recognize the ways that they show love and try to show love back to them and try to appreciate that that's their way of connecting to you. And even if it's different than the way that you would normally receive love, maybe step outside of what's comfortable and is your first language, and really observe and admire how they're trying to express their love for you, and see if you can't match that. So if you notice that they're always trying to do little things like run errands or fix things or make your life easier, they may be more of an acts of service type of person where sometimes those people don't express things verbally at all. They're not big on saying I love you. They're not big on being really affectionate. They're not big talkers, but they're always there for you and dependable when you need them, right? Or there's people that really they're very affectionate in some ways, but they don't verbalize their feelings a lot. And when you try to get them to open up and talk, they don't talk to you, but they're always there reaching out to hold your hand or wanting to cuddle you to sleep or whatever it is. There's so many different ways that people receive and express love. And a lot of times we may not be speaking the same language. We may not have the same love language, but that doesn't mean the love isn't there. So this is a reminder to focus on the love, to focus on the good things that you appreciate about this person, and show them that. Show them that you're appreciative of the things just who they are, and that you can just love them. You can love that they're free-spirited. If they're not really communicative, you can appreciate that about them and meet them halfway. And that may bring them closer to you, where they feel closer, because it's like she's taming. And he, she, doesn't matter. We both have masculine and feminine energy in both men and women, but it's almost like she's taming his dragon. Like, instead of coming at him saying, you don't show me this, or you don't do this, or I don't feel, or instead of that type of an energy, it's like she has this dragon coming right to her. And just look at the way that he's looking at her. This is such a beautiful energy in this card. So maybe just a softer approach, speaking their love language, and maybe recognizing that this person does need to feel like they are still able to be a free spirit. They're still able to do things their own way. They don't respond well to really fiery, passionate demands or things of that nature. They're more of like a, let them come to you gentle, because they're free spirited. But when we let a free spirit go, it's like, instead of trapping the spirit, where if you do this, if we come at them, we come at them, it's like they're going to retreat up here onto this, up here as high as they can, away from all of this energy, this, whatever it is. And it's almost like they're going to fly away and just isolate themselves. But instead, if we just let them be the free-spirited person they need to be, and we accept their love languages, and we speak to them in that manner, and we just allow them to be who they need to be, it's like the dragon just comes right here to her. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, you guys, let me know if that resonated with you, what you think. I appreciate you sharing your energy with me today. I do offer private and personal readings for those of you that need something a little bit more specific or have very specific questions in regards to your current situation. I hope to see you back here again soon. Please subscribe to the channel. Thanks again. Love and light. Okay, moving on now to Deck B. For those of you that are just now joining me for Deck B, this is a quick reminder that these are general readings. There's no way for me to guarantee that every general reading will resonate with every single person that watches every single time. Please just take what feels good to you in your soul, what resonates with your story and what's helpful to you, and leave the rest for somebody else. If this is making absolutely no sense for you, then chances are this message was not meant for you, or it was not your time to receive your message. I do believe that these encounters are fated and nothing happens by coincidence. So if you were drawn to me or my channel in one way or another, and you feel inspired to do so, I always recommend subscribing to the channel and clicking the bell notification. That way when new uploads appear and you feel inspired by those or drawn to one of those uploads, you can follow those, those feelings of inspiration to get your message. So all of that being said, let's get started. We have the tarot card, the Nine of Pentacles. We have the Two of Swords. Put these together. We have Rigid. Okay. And we have Surrender, Resentments. Wow. All right. Give me just a minute here to look over this and see what messages I'm receiving. So when we talk about the Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles does talk about abundance and luxury and just being very financially successful. But more than that, it talks about being more self-sufficient and independent. It's just a very independent type of energy, very confident. And I see, and the Two of Swords, whenever we see the number 2 in the tarot, it typically talks about, or there's a possibility it's talking about making a decision. In this case, this is usually an important decision, but you can see here this energy, male, female, doesn't matter. We both have masculine and feminine energy, but here we are dealing with a female on this card, and it looks like she is blindfolded. So it's almost like she doesn't want to face this decision. And I feel like her heart is guarded. It's like you see how she's crossing her hands there over her chest. So this may be somebody that's taking a more rigid stance, somebody that is fearful of letting other people in. And this can be you, or it can be the person that you're thinking of here, your soulmate, partner, ex, whoever it is that you're thinking of here in this reading. Somebody here is possibly taking a really rigid stance and being really guarded, kind of holding on to their own independence. And there may be some past hurt here. I mean, the two of you may have possibly, been through some things in the past that have now created some resentments. There's a possibility that someone's a little bit resentful that the other person's energy is just really kind of independent and self-sufficient. That's really hard if you're trying to make a strong spiritual, emotional, or physical connection with somebody and they're presenting themselves to be really self-sufficient and independent. And I kind of feel like somebody here, it's like the two swords. So I feel like they're really heavily in their head about, like, do they want to let down this wall? Do they want to give up their independence and their freedom, for this connection? Like they're fine on their own. There's an energy here that's like, hey, I really can do everything by myself. Like I'm self-sufficient. And there may be a fear here even that resentments may develop if they kind of let down their guard and they choose to be in this connection with you, or you choose to be in this connection with them. This could be you. Again, these energies can go vice versa, so just go with whatever flows with you. When we talk about rigid, I'm going to read a little bit about that from the book here for you. That says, "Is there a stone wall that stands between you and others? Could that wall be inside you? Now is the time to become more flexible and to drop your rigid expectations of yourself and especially of others. Don't be afraid to drop your guard a little too." Do you see this? And I mean, I happen to notice here, these are two completely different unrelated decks, and you see the birds. So I find that very, very interesting. If you're willing to let others in, you will see a benefit in these connections. Another meaning here is that you recognize the wall that others may have put up. Don't take it personally if they won't let you in. This is their way of coping, and it has little to do with you. So this person could be hanging on from resentments from their past. It could be a past relationship that had nothing to do with you, or it could be from some trials and tribulations that the two of you had, or this could be you holding on to resentments and building up a wall. But whoever this person is really guarded, and their way of protecting their heart from any future heartbreak or hurt has been to become as self-sufficient as possible, and I feel like they're really afraid to give that up. I feel like they're really afraid to let their walls down, whether this is you or them, due to past resentments, whether that's with you and within your connection or with someone from their past. It could be that they have a really bad relationship with one of their parents of the opposite sex or same sex even. It could be that they have they had a really bad past relationship with an ex, an ex-wife, an ex-husband, what have you, and they've kind of just built up these resentments towards love in general, and they're feeling guarded, and they've worked really hard to become independent and self-sufficient, and now through that whole process they've got this wall built up, and they're afraid to put their swords down. It's just like I don't want to face. It's like if she would just, and again, he doesn't matter, would just take this blindfold off, release these swords, and turn around. There's like this whole beautiful new beginning and future waiting out there for this person. But somebody here is very, very, very guarded and very protective over everything that's in their heart space. They may even have a blocked heart chakra, so you might want to look into that. There may be some unresolved issues, like deep-rooted wounds that haven't fully been healed. And I almost see here, it's like all these different things have happened, and it's like each time something happens, the wall just builds higher, whether this is within you or with them. But somebody here is very guarded. They're dealing with some pain, they're dealing with some past resentments, and they're blocking themselves off. And also, I'm getting a couple different scenarios here because this is general. I'm going to get a few different stories. If you need something personal, I do private readings. But I also see that somebody, because they're so independent, it's like they kind of resent having to give up their freedom or share their finances, or, they're kind of in a place where they're like, hey, I did this all by myself. And, I don't want anyone to come and just take from me. So I'd rather just sit back here by myself with my success and reap the benefits of all of my hard work. And it's kind of like they resent the fact of having to let go. But when we see the Two of Swords, it also can talk about, we talk about making a decision. It's usually a decision that's like, there's good and bad in both. Right? No matter where they go, there's good and bad in both. And so it can be a very, very difficult decision for this person to make. But a lot of it I see is like giving up their independence, breaking down their wall, and taking a chance on getting hurt again due to resentments that they've built up. Sorry if I'm repeating myself a little bit, but I just kind of, I talk as the messages come through, and sometimes it's just trying to get something through very strongly. So I'm going to pull a love oracle card here to see what the advice is. This is just a kind of little bonus I'm going to throw in. So we're just going to kind of ask, what is the advice here to strengthen this connection? What things can you do, or can the other person do? Whoever's in this energy, it's really important to surrender resentments with our current partners from our past. Whatever it is, it's very, very, very important to let those things go for our own peace. There's really no place for resentment in love. Love is about forgiveness and acceptance and growing together and understanding that we're both on our own independent journeys, and not everything, is about us. Some of these walls that are built, some of these actions that other people portray are from deep-rooted wounds, or from things of their past, or from their own personal insecurities or struggles or inadequacies that they deal with. And I understand that sometimes those things can be really difficult or hurtful for us, and we can feel really kind of blocked out or disconnected, and that's painful, and I get that. And it also makes it really hard when you're trying to really have this spiritual connection and you're so drawn to somebody, but it's like they just won't let you in. They're just so rigid in their stance, and they're so guarded, and they've built this wall, or you have. But I just want to remind you that there is nothing more liberating. Like, look at this. Just let it go. Let it be. Send it off to the universe and trust. The universe brings back karma and lessons, and and they will take care of it. So you just got to let go of whatever it is. If you want your connection with this person to strengthen, or they need to let go of whatever it is that they're holding on to. Oh, look what we have here. This just flew out at me, so this is what we're going to go with. Oh, and this is such a beautiful energy in this card. Embrace your emotions. Don't push down your feelings or judge your emotions. See that? It's like this rigid stance. Everything's been buried underneath this wall that I think was built because of past resentments. And now, like I said, it's like a blocked heart space or heart chakra. It's like this person is guarding themselves. They don't want to feel their emotions. They don't want to have to make decisions. They don't want to have to give up, all this independent energy that they've kind of guarded themselves behind. I'm going to read a little bit out of the book about this card. And it says, feelings and emotions are a part of who you are. Allow yourself to feel what is going on for you. Your feelings signal you to the truth of a situation. Take positive steps to determine why you're feeling the way that you feel. So yeah, I definitely feel like somebody is just guarded and blocked and maybe dealing with some resentment. And that has to be released for this connection to strengthen. And it's okay to feel your emotions. It's scary. It's scary when you've put yourself in this guarded place and you've become this independent energy and you've built this wall and it's like you're just hiding back here doing perfectly fine on your own, right? And then somebody comes along that makes you want to change your mind, or there's a connection that is, you feel is worth saving. And so you want to break down the wall and you want to release the resentments, but you don't really know how. And the first step to do that, what I'm seeing here, is just to embrace your emotions, whether that's you or them or both of you. There's this really incredible exercise, and not everybody is open to doing these types of things, but if you have a partner or if you're somebody that is a little bit more comfortable trying something new, this does put you in a very vulnerable space, but this is just coming to me strongly as a message to offer you. Where the two of you can kind of just sit directly across from each other with no distractions. If you're in a place with this person where you're still on speaking terms. If not, they may just need to come out of this place on their own, or you may need to, so that you're more welcoming to them. You may need to be more emotional and giving. So there may be a no contact situation here. And in this case, this is what's blocking the contact, and it's going to be up to you or to them to do the work, to break down those walls and be willing to be vulnerable. I can't force them to do that. You can't force them to do that. I can't force you to do that. They can't force you to do that. So whoever this is for, this is something that the work has to be done independently. But if this is someone that you're still in a connection with and you're just feeling a strong disconnect due to resentments in the relationship, this is a time to really embrace your emotions and reconnect. And if that's your story, and if they're willing, I would suggest kind of sitting down and you have zero distractions, and you're supposed to look into each other's eyes without speaking, without looking away. Nobody talks. And you just sit there, for a couple of minutes. And it sounds simple, but when you actually try to do this with somebody, it's really intense. It's really intense, but this kind of brings you back to that place, like, the eyes are windows to the soul. It kind of reconnects you on a soul level, and it really helps you look at that person as a human being, because sometimes we build up so much resentment towards each other, or we have so much resentment or such a wall built up that we're just kind of going through the motions, but that really connects us on a soulful level and makes us look at somebody in a completely different way. And it's a very powerful exercise that might help break down some of these walls. For those of you that are still in contact, please do not go to your ex's house and break in their window and be staring into their eyes when they wake up out of bed. I'm just kidding, but I'm not endorsing anything of that nature, right? This is going to be for somebody that is willing and accessible to you right now. If this person is not accessible to you, then it's really important for you just to embrace your emotions, accept how you're feeling about this, release them and the resentments, and the fact that they're not able to connect to you right now. Don't take it personal. It's not about you. And real love is allowing people to be where they need to be. So that's what I'm getting for you. I hope this was helpful. If you'd like a personal or private reading and you want to go deeper or get some specific questions answered, all the information will be in the description box. Otherwise, I hope this had a message that was meant for you and is helpful to you. Thanks for joining me and sharing your energy with me. Love and light.